This video is covering the build for everything post-patch after the healing nerf. I'm going to lay out skills and the build to use for PvE Solo, dungeons, abyssal dungeons, co-op, as well as walking through PvP builds and explaining how to fight in the arena and how to be useful for your team. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the healer build post-patch since the healer nerfs. This is where we're at, and we will see where we're going. I will start simply with stat points and show you kind of why I'm doing the breakdown I'm doing. This is our target goal. This will be available down below in the description, but ultimately our main goal will be to get to 70 strength. As you move through getting equipment for your build, you want to hit certain breakpoints. Specifically, strength is purely just survivability. That's why that's important. Dexterity is important as a healer, but mainly for the crit chance. The crit chance does apply to your heals. You can crit on your heals. They'll heal at the ceiling basically when they crit. And this is important not just for burst heals, but heal over times. So why aren't we getting it? It's really kind of our weapon and equipment choice that we have decent crit chance. And instead, I'm going to lean more into a decent perception, but more so higher wisdom for cooldown is something I'm going to try to keep the heal over time on bar. So 50 perception is where we're going to lean into, and then beyond that, everything else is going to go into wisdom. Now, wisdom will be a bit lower at first, but as soon as we're getting things like Ascended Guardian Pants, we probably want to try to lean in, and you probably have the gloves at this point, and then we really lean into the cooldown side of this build. Honestly, until you can get your cooldown up a significant amount, it might be tough to keep the longbow skill on bar. Regardless, this is pretty much a full endurance build. We're doing no invasion here. So this is tanky, and this is really leaning into cooldown resist. Additionally, it has really good debuff duration. Not only from these pants, but just the wisdom passive as well at 40 breakpoint. So that's pretty much the stat explanation. Next, we'll look at the equipment. I will do a rundown on each piece real quickly. I built this so you don't need the excavator wand. If you can get the excavator wand, you can totally run it. It's not like super easy for everyone to get. So a lot of the other equipment's easier, but there's a couple pieces that aren't, and I'll explain that too. But this would be the excavator wand. You could run that. I actually kind of appreciate this tome until the T2 tomes come out, which we don't have yet. But it's kind of a get out of jail free card. Unless you get bursted at low HP, you will forcibly go invisible in combat when you get low health. So if you're stun locked, have really good defense, you get low, it can save your life and let you recover and continue the fight. So we're building around this. It's also stat loaded. It also has high crit chance. Karnak's bow also has crit chance. Karnak's bow is pretty much a lock for this. Beyond this, we have Supreme Devotion, but you know, this is really for efficiency and good for mass PvP. If you're doing like specifically arena, you'd probably want to go for something tankier like Forsaken Embrace. Okay? Unless you want to build for some collision resistance thing, Supreme Devotion. Those are pretty much your options. Beyond that, what I do with this build is we have a 2-piece Shock Commander. So this is a combination that's going to give us damage reduction on the 2-piece bonus. And reason we go these, they're pretty good. They're pretty good slots here. They're pretty good spots for it. The only downside to the armor pieces is I don't have full max HP on them. That part's true. There is a trade on having the Ascended Pants and getting extra debuff duration. That in conjunction with the wisdom breakpoint here, what you end up doing is getting about minus 30% debuff duration, which means things like stuns last that much, they fade that much quicker. So this build has that advantage to maybe skip through longer CCs than other builds. That's what it leans towards. And also, again, we're really focused on the cooldown speed. So it's a 2-piece Ascended here, 2-piece Shock Commander, pretty self-explanatory. 1-piece Boot is really just for the high strength here that we get out of it. Beyond that, we have Clasp with Conquer. This is easy to get. Bracers of Unrelenting is one of the new ones from the new dungeons. This won't be tough to get. Sapphire Dimensional Band at this point, pretty easy to get and pretty cheap to move up. Band of Universal Power is one of your items that to really hit all these breakpoints the way they are makes it difficult. However, you can still get to the strength sooner than later. I think this is what I'm using right now. Yeah, Etched Alabaster, which is good. The attack speed and the strength's good. This one can carry you for a while. You can ride this one for a while. Eventually, you know, you can come back and get the Band of Universal Power, though, to tie it up. The other difficult item that will be, you know, in here or may cost is probably the Belt of Bloodlust. These also were hard to get, but they won't be now with the new dungeons. So, build's not too hard to get equipment-wise. That's what it is. That's the explanation. Different traits are listed here, so feel free to check them out, again, in the link in the description. All right, next up I'm going to go over the skills. For those that are a little less familiar with healing, in general I'll explain. Your tome has your burst heal packed into it. It's got other defensives like a barrier, a shield. The bow should be thought of as primarily just a heal over time weapon. It does that through Flash Wave. It does it through Healing Touch. Now again, a lot of people are probably going to part ways with Healing Touch. Maybe not. We'll see how healers in general react. But you were able to use both of these in conjunction before. Now they will share a cooldown. It will look something like this now. Use one, the other goes on cooldown. This is again why we're leaning more towards a cooldown functioning build. Now, the heal over time is pretty light, but it's necessary. Like, if you want to top people off, that is part of why I want to keep Healing Touch. There are different people that can be topped off and need to be topped off, and you don't really want to use your burst heal. If I use my burst heal once to top someone off, I'm essentially putting it in a position where it's on a longer cooldown. Now, if somebody's getting hit right now, it's not up. If I had hit them, I just have a shorter window. So what if they get hit while that's happening? Well, that's what you have your other skills for. If I just use the heal over time and someone just got stunned over here, my first reaction is really going to be to purify them, to lift the stun. But beyond that, we have Barrier, we have Blessed Barrier. These are very quick response tools. What you're going to have to get used to, and what you'll see incorporated in these builds, whether you use Healing Touch on bar or not, you're still functionally going to use Healing Touch. You're going to use it through this specialization in Purifying Touch. So, this bar on screen that we just had is somewhere about, you know, where your bar is probably going to look like. There's going to be a couple flex spots. I will explain flex spots, and these are more up to you, and they are also dependent on what you're doing. This is more for my large-scale PvP. This was pretty close to what I used before the patch. It's pretty close to what I'm going to use after the patch. I pulled specializations out of Healing Touch because we're not using it as frequently, because once you're really in the meat of a fight and a lot of things are on cooldowns, that's when you don't want to use Healing Touch. When you have things up and you have the ability to burst heal through means like Invincible Wall, then you can use it for top-offs. The other portion is Healing Touch works very well with Nature's Blessing. Anyone that doesn't know this as a healer, and I think there's a lot of people that do. I see most people healing on healers and they don't even realize the relationship between these. But here's my health. Here's Healing Touch. Adds a little bit of regen. Here's Healing Touch with Nature's. Okay, you see how much more quickly it heals. You basically always want to use Nature's Blessing in conjunction with Healing Touch. So even if you're not using Healing Touch on bar, what you will be doing is using Purifying Touch now to purify people that are stunned. You're always doing that anyway. If someone gets stunned or they're rooted or silenced, or maybe they just have burning effect and you want to put a heal over time on them because they're about to really be getting beaten down, you hit them with Purifying Touch. It puts a Healing Touch on them, and then we use Nature's Blessing, and now they have a really strong heal over time for just those like 4 seconds that Nature's Blessing's going. The other heal over time we have is Flash Wave. So these are kind of our strong heal over times. Fountain of Life is a heal over time. I generally treat Fountain of Life as a selfish heal. If I have someone that's like stunned, I can run up to them and drop this as well. I especially do this in arena. My arena bar is quite a bit different. Or it's not that much different rather. But this skill, like Blessed Barrier, I have set to an AoE. I'm going to show some footage real quick of these just to kind of explain, you know, what it looks like a little bit more, and we'll walk through that. All right, so I just did a few arenas. We're going to run through them real quick. And this is in the new patch, so I'll stop and go here and just kind of explain what's going on, both from a post change, and also I'm sure there's tons of people that aren't familiar with healing as much as well. Right off the bat, we're stacking Healing Touch. Okay, you see it's sharing the cooldown with our main heal. That's all right. Up front, beginning of the fight, we stack this up. It'll stack up to 3 times. You can actually see it's already stacked here with a little 3 there. Generally, depending on what you're fighting in arenas, and I could really go into more depth in arenas, it depends what you're fighting, how you act, what you do, and your team. These guys don't have someone that's going to stun me. You know, Ice Staff, maybe they'll freeze me or something. A lot of range here. I'm going to run right in there and just eat it for my teammates. This is generally what I do, depending on what we're fighting. And you'll see that here. I mean, I'll knock it down in the speed so you can see. I immediately come in and put up a block. I got a perfect block, which I'm going to be able to restore my stamina and heal myself with. But beyond that, I mean, these dudes are just unloading on me. I'm eating it. And this gives them freedom to move in. What's my response after just holding that block for a while? I kind of forgot. Oh, yeah. Generally Q. Fountain of Life's good. The moment you can get Fountain off, like, it immediately starts healing. The other thing it does is it kicks in a very important passive for us, which is basically just going to allow us to heal ourselves that much more. I immediately threw up a barrier, and I put up Blessed here. Blessed pretty much allows you not only to amp your mitigation, your self-defense, but it's also going to amp your healing received furthermore. The reason I'm doing a lot of this is I don't need to burst heal myself in this situation. I leverage the passives and some of the skills here. I still, at this point, want to save my burst heal for my teammates because I have the proper tools to do so. And you see I'm not burst healing myself. I'm letting the heal over time just ride. My eyes are already off me. I'm looking at the targets. I'm looking at my guys. I'm ready to, you know, mark them. But honestly, my teammates killed them really quick there. So, like, right off the bat, they just ripped through them. I just went in and face tanked a bit. And this is just like healer mitigation. Again, I said Q is a very selfish spell. If someone else was beaten down, I could run and throw it on the ground, and we both could share it, so I can still benefit from it too. But in this case, I just ran in, I set it up. Most people run out of your Q, I'm going to be honest. People just, and I say the Q, I'm sorry. Mine's bound. Most people run out of your Fountain of Life. They just do. Like, don't expect people to stay in your Fountain of Life. Use it on people that are stunned generally, in tandem with Blessed Barrier. And what this does, this amps their mitigation. If you're not immediately dispel and burst healing them, you're pretty much going to throw a Fountain of Life down and help them mitigate it while they just eat it. All right, a lot of the healer things with bow and wand, you pretty much have combinations of moves. The same way you can purify someone and give them a healing touch and then hit them with this heal over time, and you'll see me do that. That's another combination, is you can drop this wand AoE on the ground that does a heal over time and just help them mitigate it and infuse their healing, okay? A caveat, there are some people in this game you cannot save, okay? Some people are just goddamn unhealable, so be aware of that too. All right, some things are out of reach for your reality. All right, their healer's chilling in the back. 2 guys are up front. Let's see what I do here. Usually I would just step up and dive at them and see if they want to hit me. But okay, he's peeling off. That's stupid. I'm just gonna let those guys kill him. Their healer's here. I don't even know what he's doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing. All right, so now this guy's on an island. The third guy, I don't know where he went, dude. I guess he's hiding probably somewhere in our 6 to flank from stealth. But oh, here we go. But what do we do there is important. That's what I should have explained to you. This guy goes in. What are we doing as a healer here? What is our job? I immediately put a heal over time on our guy that just went in. And I hit him with T. So again, this is giving him that strong heal over time we were talking about. See his health going up, and he also has a flash wave from our buddy here. So like that's enough where I'm not using my burst heal. I try to limit using my burst heal. I did this pre-patch. You do it post-patch. This burst heal will drain your mana more than anything else. I have pretty good mana efficiency, but if you have less so, then you really want to learn to heal efficiently. Because when you get in long fights, the more efficiently you heal, the better off you're going to do. Again, we're going to move in, kind of get in their face here. I'm absorbing some bursts. That guy is aiming at me. I'm flash waving this dude, but Cream needs heals. I play in classic mode. I pretty much am chilling here like this. I'm ready to heal through these means. And I just target him. I burst healed him. He's got a shield as well. I'm also going to throw down this fountain and just let that ride. We put up a barrier since they're both under pressure. Now we're turning our attention to Lion. Clay Salvation now with our specialization. That's also going to function as a purge. That's part of why I casted it there. And they both could have used a heal. Is really this guy that needs a heal is Lion, but we're tight on our cooldowns here. And he's gone. I have stuff on cooldown. Healing is definitely tougher post-patch. Usually you could stack massive hots on one guy and burst heal the other in situations like that. We can't really do that. Right here, you'll see the benefit of just being tanky. And this is where this tome is great. That tome just put us invisible. We kind of relied on that. We know that's going to happen. I kind of usually eat that invis in arenas pretty frequently. I'll come back here and just use a heal up. I'm not going to waste my burst heal on me. You know, not unless I need to. If they're like still tailing me and stuff, then hell yeah. But we want to rotate our hots as much proactively. So when the hots are needed, they're already running. That's the best way to do it. Again, we're just marking. That's pretty much the only function. These flex spots I was talking about, my flex is I can sleep, which will focus healers, usually melee tanks, people that don't have great evasion. Okay? And then mark, generally for anything our guys are attacking. You could also do like root here. In smaller PvP, you don't need Karmic Haze to spread it. In larger, you can do Karmic Haze to spread your sleep. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Let's load up another. All right, second fight here. It's not sure what classes we have here. We should be running the hot on ourselves. We're not at the start here, but there we go. We got it going a little bit here. Dropping a fountain early because they opened on that guy on the corner, but kind of making ourselves a target here. Let's slow it down again, see what happens. But making ourselves a bit of a target. I mean, naturally you kind of become a target. They want to get the healer down. We're blocking up front. We're absorbing what we can. There goes our shield, our longbow shield passive procs. And now we're about to run through the other stuff. Dropping our barrier there. Doing a team barrier there. I didn't use a burst heal there, but I just kind of threw the regen for myself and a flash wave. I'm good. I got a ton of hots now. Now it's time again to focus on our teammates. I used my burst heal on him, but I failed to heal him up. He actually had a debuff there. That's why see, these burst heals are not hitting very hard. So if I had paid a little more attention and just, you know, used the purge here and got rid of those debuffs, he would have been topped off to full right there. But didn't happen. I used clays instead there to remove stuff and throw a little heal. Throw out another flash wave. It'll help top him off. Their range is still gunning us, which is what we want. Not really burst healing myself. I see him focusing me, and my health is kind of low here, but I can still go invis, and I'm happy for him to come. What I can't allow is for me to get hit for like that he punches through all my health in one go. That's why we're using defense here. And he pushed me into invis range, which is great. I'm invisible. I'm in a heal over time. You'll watch my health. It takes care of itself here. Okay, back to healing them. And now I'm gonna put him in timeout. He slept. Okay. Teammates are still ripping. Okay. 3, we're going to burst heals because people need health. 2 on 1. Third one goes to the other guy, not ourselves. Top them up. We're tanky for a reason. Okay, right there, I just did the blessing combo with healing touch. Use that. It's not a burst heal, but it's a extremely strong heal over time. So when you put them together, and then you can also layer flash wave on top of it. At that point, it becomes like a, it's comparable to a burst heal. It's not instant, but people are gaining thousands of health a second. So they're focusing on Tipsy. We're coming in, dumping a flash wave here. This guy jumped on me, which we love to see. We used our CC removal too there, Purification Stone, just to get some space on him. But again, dropping a selfish Fountain of Life on ourselves. Just kind of monitoring the fight, waiting for someone to get stunned here or something. Tipsy got drilled there. I do not have a burst heal. He died really quick. It's unfortunate. You know. Another perfect block, because this dagger keeps coming at us. That was actually a great perfect block. Rare I hit more than like a couple of them a fight, but they're very nice. A perfect block is a free heal, and it restores your stamina too that you use to do it. So it's free. Dropping a fountain here, burst healing Nervous. Again, he's heal debuffed, so we should have lifted that. You need to be mindful of the heal debuffs from things like dagger and stuff, and try to make use of removing them, especially like post patch. Now that you have a buff, you can get a cleanse on your Purifying Touch, on Nature's Blessing, and on Clay Salvation. So you have multiple ways to lift stuff, and heal debuffs are real nasty. You'll end up using a burst heal, sitting on like a near 10-second cooldown, and you're wondering, yeah, and you didn't do anything because you tried to heal during a heal debuff. So it takes experience to look for those things, especially in the heat of battle, but it's something to do. Another perfect block here on this dagger. Jesus, this dude's getting smoked. Just backpedaling a little. Stacking hots here on guys. This is where, again, I still see the value of our heal over time and just topping things and prepping people. Teammates are just kind of running them down. They're coming out scattered right now. I mean, their team's not fighting together well. There's another heal over time for the guys. We're watching this dude coming in on our left. Looks like I'm eyeing up asleep. That missed. Let's try to get over to him. What are we doing? We're shooting a Clay Salvation. I don't know if I agree with me doing that. All right, there's another purge to get him free. And I put a strong hot on him, as done before. So we didn't burst heal him. This is what I mean. I'm still using this when I have the option of Nature's Blessing. When you put the strong hot on people, you just sometimes need to fill in with a buffer of this. Like, these are your two means of mitigation. This is essentially fake health. Blessed Barrier is just not only going to increase their healing received, but it's going to increase their mitigation. So these are buffers to let heal over times work. So that's a lot of how I leverage healing with hots, is you got to put a buffer in there. And somewhere in between, hope that they do their own job in protecting themselves and dodging when they can. Like that dude just, he's dead. Like, he just dove into 3 people. I mean, what do you want me to do there? That guy kind of set me up. Yeah, we just got ripped in half there. Not the worst thing too. You technically kind of want to reset at a point in arenas for like the second half of the fight, the way the point system works. So not the worst. Sometimes I do just die, but that's usually if my mana's low. That dude actually just ripped me up. Same thing, we're sitting in here, got another perfect block, which we love to see. What are we doing? We're throwing a sleep on Runa. I really didn't buff myself there, but with Fountain, I'm feeling pretty good. But we did the self heal and the blessing for a strong hot, and our burst heal is already available. This is where I think, again, low cooldown build I think functionally can work. It also depends on your environment. Like mass scale PvP, you're not going to be throwing out the blessings too much. And you might build for something else. Like your guild might have you running tornadoes and stuff. I don't find them wildly great to run, but it kind of depends on what kind of group I'm with. Like if I'm with range and they're kind of sitting back, I'm probably not going to run it anyway myself. Generally, I'll run sleep to get brawlers off us in mass PvP too. So all in all, these are kind of how I see the bars running post patch. It's definitely a nerf for healers though post patch with the healing changes. But it was kind of intended for Korea. It's intended for a different meta that's not ours. But that's some PvP matches. All right, for the PvE damage AoE solo type setup, this is specifically made if I just want to solo grind abyssals or go into some dungeon. I use this bar kind of for actual like 6-man dungeons and just if I'm running around soloing doing contracts. I just want to do a quick show of kind of what this looks like. We're generally relying on Chaotic Shield being really strong. Shadow Crypt is really easy to do this in, okay? Shadow Crypt just has assassins. They kind of spam fury attacks. And basically what you get to do is Chaotic Shield, when you land perfect blocks, you hit this skill again, and it heals you. Simultaneously, the perfect block's putting out dots on everything, and it still restores stamina, so you can just keep doing it repeatedly. So I'm going to go show you that. We're not really going to run out of stamina. Meanwhile, we have a lot of AoEs going out. I don't even put Curse on bar here, or I'm sorry, Touch of Despair, but you can. The reason I'm not is because Chaotic Shield's doing the work already. Like Chaotic Shield's just mass spamming this. So when you see the little orbs above their head, that's that skill. So let me just do a pull. I mean, basically you just want to gather stuff. Like any MMO, you kind of want to line of sight. You want to stack range on melee. There's all sorts of rooms and stuff to do that on. So different classes can easily do these AoE pulls. Healer's really strong. You're very durable. And you don't need great gear to do this. Like I've been able to do this with blue gear. You don't need great gear. So you see our health, we're like getting hurt. We can drop this heal, which is going to keep us afloat. That's our self heal if you need. But beyond that, these are the fury attacks. So this is what I'm going to focus on blocking. In the meantime, I'm going to drop AoEs, but there's one perfect. Perfect. And I hit it again. You see how it's healing me? But it's also stacking up dots. At the front end of these pools, you kind of want to do a flash wave. Okay? A flash wave is just going to give you a strong heal over time. AoE damage is great or whatever, but you see the dots rocking. So that's one of your dots. Okay? And I can sit here and just deal with this forever. Like this build just lives forever. The other thing, we have Corrupted Magic Circle. That's putting out an AoE. With all of them, we are then going to use Curse Explosion, which is going to do that. It's going to pop all of the dots, but do a lot of damage. And then see, I can rebuild the dots back on them very quickly. Okay, we're just perfect countering. Even if you're casting something, stop doing it and perfect block and heal yourself. Okay, it's very important. If you miss them and you run around, you can just kite a little bit. You have this as a security blanket. The other stuff on bar is really to clean up pulls. Although this is good. This puts a gale effect on everything. And that causes AoE damage too with the bow skills. So we have other AoE going. With this skill here, Ray of Disaster, you pretty much just want to target the farthest back mob. And see, we went and Viz there. That's another thing. If you get stunned during these pulls, you get one get out of jail free card with this book. But yeah, the Ray of Disaster, pick the farthest target back because the beam will rip through the whole pile and do damage. It's nothing crazy, but it all adds up. Aside from that, these are really kind of your go-to single targets, these bows, and these are good for just cleaning up a pool, right? You don't run out of mana. You run damn near infinite. Again, Fountain of Life is good, and I'll show you, the passes we have in play are pretty much all there for a reason. Like Fountain triggers this passive here, Selfless Soul, constantly. So, Selfless Soul grants health recovery and regen to allies via active skills and stacks up to 5 times. As you can see, if you put down Fountain of Life, that's why we always use it as a selfish heal, PvE or PvP. And it works for you or other people, but that's a really nice one. All these passives are kind of at play. I don't even have Full of Corruption leveled, but it's because I'm doing multi-weapons, so I don't level all my skills all the way. But Full of Corruption is great for AoE. A lot of these are just self-healing type stuff. You just want to stay pretty sturdy in the pool, and that's pretty much it. Okay, for the 6-man dungeons, I'm not going to spend much time on this. This is on this bar. This is essentially what I use if I want to, again, just do contracts in open world or I queue for a dungeon. I'll just explain a couple things with it. The specializations and such are changed a bit more in it. You know, more focus on time for punishment and deadly marker. Those ones are real big. And what this does is it just allows you to amp a lot more single target damage. That's what you're interested in. But aside from running, you know, you get 3 strafing shots on like single targets. I still have the AoE version of Snipe here. It helps just for clearing mobs again in dungeons. We have our 2 dots that we also use during AoE pooling. Brutal Arrow, which should be used in conjunction with these 2. Our only real healing is Swift Healing. We have Nature's Blessing, which is kind of a heal, but alone it's not crazy. But we're going to use it also just for the sustain it'll bring to the party. Gives a mana regen. And then other than all that, we have Flash Wave too, which we will use. Like, people take damage, you do that. Now, if you're doing tougher dungeons or your group's taking a lot of damage, or they need a real healer, go to the healer bar that I showed you for PvP and just do that and focus on that. And in your flex spots, flex in, deadly marker and time for punishment. If you really need like a full-blown healer, and at times you will, like when a new patch comes, T2 dungeons, when T3 dungeons come, you'll do more of that. And rune dungeons, that'll be a whole different ball game. But the other thing is, that I do in PvE that I like to point out is just, I try to save Blitz for Deadly Marker. Deadly Marker will reduce the cooldowns for you and everyone in the party. Amps your damage dramatically. So when you put this up in Deadly Marker, you can Blitz it. You can even throw it down again. By the time that Deadly Marker is coming off its target, you'll probably have it up again if your party's remotely decent on damage. Because of what Deadly Marker's doing. It's reducing cooldowns per crit. You're amping the group's crit. So make heavy use of Deadly Marker. It's one of the best things you can do in PvE for your group, aside from being a functional healer. But this is your general damage, somewhere between this, or you just go back to your healer bar for 6-man dungeons. Okay? And that's all I got for now. If you enjoyed the video, it's helpful, let me know in the comments what you enjoyed. If you like going through the fights, it's something I used to do in ESO. It's something I plan to do here in Throne and Liberty if people find that helpful and if the reception's pretty good. But let me know your thoughts, disagreements, questions. Make sure, again, you like, subscribe, and do look for future stuff because I probably will update this amongst other builds. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. Have a good one.